Hello everybody, FPV met you, and today we're going to see about what is FPV, is FPV legal in India, and the components that goes into the FPV.
FPV. Okay, so technically speaking, if you have a radio control toy with a camera mount on top of it and you are controlling it by seeing the live feed of the camera, then it's called FPV. But most commonly, a quadcopter with a camera mount is called FPV, and most people use goggles that are specifically designed for FPV to get the live feed and control the drone. So you'll be always seeing the drone's point of view. In short, that's what is FPV. So a quadcopter with FPV system is categorized as racing FPV and freestyle FPV. Racing FPV build is somewhat similar to that of freestyle FPV. In racing FPV, we'll be always using analog goggles, and the build will be specifically designed for racing purposes. And in this channel, we'll be mostly seeing the freestyle stuff, and the freestyle FPV are classified based on the propeller sizes. The frames that we use for freestyle are also categorized based on the propeller sizes only. So tiny hoops, anything that is less than the 3-inch is known as tiny hoops, and the 3-inch is called a cine hoop because it's used for taking cinematic shots. 5-inch also is used for taking cinematic FPV and stuff, but 3-inch is most commonly called as a cine hoop, and 4-inch is a rare FPV system, and most people don't go into 4-inch, and 5-inch is the sweet spot for freestyle FPV. 6-inch and 7-inch are somewhat higher weight drones. So in case of higher weight drones, the stability would be more, but it has its own drawbacks, so we'll be seeing that later. So this is the category of FPV system. Coming to the most important part of the video, is FPV legal in India? Okay, before flying anything, you have to always check whether or not you are legal to fly there. Okay, you have to double check it, because if you mess around, then you are going to end up in trouble, and you don't want to mess around in these legal issues. Why am I so much stressful about being legal? There's a scene from A-Team. Please go watch it, and you will know why I am so much stressing about being legal.
Boss, the idea is to kill Tuco, not the other way around! One step ahead of the game isn't a plan, kid. 2 to 3 steps ahead. Beating an enemy's move before it's even made. That's a plan. Hatchet, lock on my LC. General Tuco, you're currently engaged in unauthorized warfare on United States military personnel.
No. You engage me!
Repeat, you're engaged in unauthorized warfare on United States military personnel. Over United States airspace.
What?
Alpha. Mike. Foxtrot! In other words, adios, mother! Well done, Captain.
That was awesome!
That wasn't awesome!
You ain't genius!
I've never played a game that's this!
Oh, I never should have doubted you, boss!
There's a plan in everything, kid. And I love it when a plan comes together.
You see that what happens if you enter a controlled airspace without permission. Coming on to the legal issues of flying FPV in India. Any standard FPV drones would weigh around 650 grams, and it comes under micro category of drones classified by DGCA. So anything that is above 250 grams and less than 2 kg would come under the micro category of drones. And for flying in India, you should be an Indian resident. If you are a foreigner, you can only rent your drone to an Indian resident and then fly your drone. But if you are a foreigner, you cannot fly in India. That's how it is. Then the next one is getting a unique identification number from DGCA. It is required for micro category of drones. Then you should fly in green zones below 200 feet. Green zones are the uncontrolled airspace, and if you want to fly in controlled airspaces, then you should be getting permission, and prior intimation is required. Then getting a no permission, no takeoff from Digital Sky Portal app is required prior to the flight. And the last two ones are a little bit itchy, but you have to follow them. It's how it is. Prior information to local police, it's required. And flying with an FPV buddy who will be your visual observer, who will be looking out for the drone, because since you're flying an FPV, you would be probably wearing FPV goggles, and you wouldn't be aware of the surroundings around you, nor the drone. So you should have a FPV buddy who would be your visual observer for the flight duration. Okay, that's about the legal issues of flying in India. Coming on to the next part of the video, we have components that goes into FPV quad. So we have the drone side and pilot side. Under drone side, we have the flight controller, which basically is the brain for the FPV quad, and electronic speed controller is going to regulate the speed of the DC brushless motor based upon the signals that is it's going to receive from the flight controller. The flight controller in turn receives the signals from the radio controller. Then we have the frame. That's where you're going to mount all your chips, props, motors, everything. Lithium polymer batteries are going to power your drones. The receiver would receive the signal from the radio controller and give it to the flight controller. Then the video transmitter is going to transmit the video from your FPV camera to the FPV goggles, and antennas, that's must. And filming camera like GoPro would be used for recording your freestyle stuff, cinematic shots, everything. Then coming on to the pilot side. Pilot side, we have FPV goggles, then the receiver module for the goggles. That would be probably a diversity module. Diversity module will be having set of two antennas, one for the long range and another one for short range. Diversity module will automatically decide which antenna it's going to use. And the next one is the radio controller. It's going to control your FPV quad. Okay, after buying all the FPV stuff and building your FPV drone, your final setup would probably look like this. The drone, then the controller, and then your goggles. These three things would be required for a whole set of FPV system. Okay, that's it for this video, guys. See you on the next video. Until then, goodbye, take care.